Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Santa. And this is Mrs. Claus.
I'm Drea Claus.
And this is Questions, Coffee, and Cars. This one is dropping on Christmas Eve. So if you're watching it the day it came out, Christmas is tomorrow.
Merry
Santa,
Christmas.
I know him. So if you want to get a question in, how do you do it, Andrea?
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning I put a post out on Instagram asking for questions. Once we gather them, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Just want to say before we start, Andrea, I don't look good in hats.
You look good.
But Andrea looks
You're
good in hats
fine.
and not much else.
Oh
Okay, you ready?
This is family rated, okay? Don't run away.
Okay, ready? Your questions from Instagram.
Would you choose the Mazda CX50 GT hybrid over the RAV4 hybrid or CRV hybrid of similar trim?
So the CX50 hybrid over the what?
Over the RAV4 hybrid or CRV hybrid. So top trim is the GT of the CX50. That's an interesting question. And it's not an easy one to answer, actually.
Well,
but you go first.
I think that in the Canadian market, Mazda equipped the CX50 nicely.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of nice stuff in it. Honda doesn't have a lot of the same features, and Toyota doesn't either. And the big one is the panoramic sunroof. We don't get that in the U.S. You do get it in the RAV4. But the other one is it's a first year, but it is a Toyota hybrid that's running it. So it's kind of a hard one.
So I love how the CX50 hybrid handles, drives. It's very engaging. So if you're looking for something a little bit more dynamic in a hybrid, that is your winner compared to the RAV4 and the CRV. However, the seats aren't that comfortable in the CX50. I could live with it if I was mostly just doing city driving, but if I had to take that CX50 on a long road trip, I'm just not sure I could handle the seats. It just doesn't provide the thigh support that I need.
No, I have said many times, many times, the best car on the road, if you factor in reliability, resale value, and the price to purchase it, is the RAV4 hybrid. There's no question. But when you start getting into the top specs of all of these, then the CRV is actually a pretty nice choice because it drives so well. That hybrid system that Honda has is a better driving hybrid than the RAV4. The RAV4 is bulletproof though.
And the RAV4 gets better fuel economy than the CRV. So if fuel economy is your number one priority, then the RAV4 hybrid and the CX50 hybrid are your better choices. For comfort level, I think that the RAV4 to me feels comfortable seat-wise, but the CRV takes it to another level, and the CRV is just a little bit quieter than the RAV4 and the CX50 hybrid.
And then we're going to muddle it even farther, and then because the CRV is missing some features compared to the others. So you really got to do a bit of a spreadsheet on this one. It's like what are your must-haves and what can you live without? It's never a bad idea to buy a RAV4 hybrid. We were at a auto location recently, and this guy spotted us, and he came over. He's like he saw Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my God!
Santa here? I know him. I know him.
And he runs up and he goes, Santa, I know him. And then he was getting a one-on-one consultation, and I said, listen, RAV4 hybrid, it's just like this money in the bank.
Yeah, it really is money in the bank. And what I like about it is that there's so many different trims to choose from. So depending on your budget, you'll be able to get into a hybrid, start saving at the pumps, lowering your emissions. So I think that the RAV4 hybrid is a real winner. Happy holidays with Toyotas and Lexus more prone to being stolen. Is it better to buy Mazda? Not all Lexus and Toyotas are being stolen, just specific ones.
Hondas are as well.
Hondas
You want to basically look at the list of the top stolen vehicles in your area, and I think you're referring to Canada because Canada, they love those Toyotas. What they're looking for are cars that they can ship overseas where they can get them serviced, and parts are readily available. And Toyota's of course an international brand, but yeah, you could definitely try your luck with something other than a Toyota, if that's your number one concern?
Well, Mazdas are not getting stolen and Subarus aren't getting stolen. So yes, I would think if you are thinking about a hybrid, for example, then you've got the CX50 hybrid with the Toyota powertrain and hybrid system.
Good luck getting one.
Yeah, we were just at the dealership and those are really hard to get right now. But they are going to increase the inventory in Canada at the beginning of January. They're going to start producing more. There is more in the U.S. right now, but it is a larger market.
But then if Trump comes in and puts tariffs in, then are they going to have counter tariffs? Like the whole thing is, we were having dinner with a senior executive at Toyota, and their gut is that he's going to do it. They said they don't know how long. He might only do it for a short period of time. It might not be 25%, but this is going to throw a wrench into everything. So
but the CX50 is made in the U.S.
I know, but then Canada could do counter tariffs, right?
Oh,
I mean, it could just turn into a hot mess.
I hope it's not
Meanwhile,
gonna
we've
be
got a
hot mess.
dysfunctional government, or no government right now.
Let's not get into politics.
Oh my God, we've been
please.
watching the TV about the meltdown of our Canadian government. It's like, this is not the time to have nobody running the show when Trump's coming in.
But
it's
how
crazy.
about my pom-pom?
Yeah, Mrs. Claus, that looks good. Let's move on.
Hi, Andrea and Zach. Well, you have the opportunity to drive the Z or Z4 M40i with a manual.
Well, listen, JF, shout out to JF from BMW Canada. He's our PR guy. He was talking dirty, Andrea, and said it's coming. It's coming in the spring. They had it, and they were going to ship it, but they decided to push pause until the weather gets better.
Zach and I are super interested in this model because we actually priced it out to see what we could get. We spec'd it the way we wanted it versus a Porsche Boxster. And we're talking both brand new. And boy, it's actually a good deal in the luxury category, you know, compared to the Boxster.
But Andrea, if the
it's not a Porsche.
If the Z4 manual with the inline six shows up, that means Ruby's gone.
That means the GTI is gone.
Yep.
No, we're not doing that. We're
Why
keeping
not?
Ruby and.
We might love it though.
Okay, well let's just
Pump the brakes.
put a pause on that one, and we'll revisit after we've driven it. How about that, Zach? Hello, Andrea and the Motormouth team. It's just
Team?
Zach and I. We actually don't have a team, but thank you.
You're looking at the team.
Curious to know if there is any upcoming video for the 2025 Audi Q5. Want to know more of the details which you provide on the vehicle in your reviews. As always, love your videos. Thank you. So there is no Audi press fleet in Vancouver, and that's really how we access vehicles. Many manufacturers, I'll use Toyota as an example, Hyundai, Subaru, Kia, they have tons of vehicles that they keep coming in. So even if we're not able to go on a drive event, we can access the vehicles here in Vancouver. Audi does not have one.
Okay, so other brands that have very limited access to cars. So Audi hasn't had a press fleet, I would guess, for 10 years in Vancouver. Volkswagen doesn't have a press fleet either, but Volkswagen invites us to all the launches, and they do help us get access through a dealership to cars.
Yes.
And Porsche's the same. They don't have a big press fleet here, but we do get invited occasionally on trips, and they do send out the occasional press car.
And before you move on, I just want to say that with Audi in the past, any of our videos that are on our channel, we got them through Dilawri at a dealership here in Vancouver, and Dilawri has been really terrific in giving us vehicles to drive for a few days.
So that's the backstory. Then we move forward to Audi and the Q5, and this is like a big car for our channel, the Q3 as well. So we're at the airport one time, this is a few weeks ago, and we're going through security, and the head of PR for Audi Canada, his name is Court Nielsen, he's behind us, and he recognized me. I used to go on all of the Audi trips before COVID, and then COVID came, and then zero communication from Audi Canada. Nothing, zero, zilch. Haven't had an email or a press release from them in years. And I said to him, Court, how can we drive an Audi Q5? And do you know what he said? He said, you got to buy one. I thought that was I didn't think that was pretty cheeky. I thought that was very rude, actually. It's like, if you want to drive a Q5, you've got to buy one. And this is the head of PR from Audi. So yeah, no PR happening for Audi Canada. unless you live in Toronto or Montreal. There's absolutely zero contact outside of there. And you know what? The results may vary. So Audi is not exactly doing very well right now. So they might change their mind on that.
So we do our best with the vehicles that we can get, and many manufacturers have been great, and they invite us on the drive events, but that is just not the case with Audi. So I hope we can get one. We'd love to test drive the Q5, but we are limited.
Well, we're going to have to work with the Lari,
yes,
and get one from the local dealer, but that's not the way it should be.
No. Hello, I love watching your videos. I'm in the market for a luxury 3-row SUV. We really like the Audi Q7 and Acura MDX. We also looked at the Mazda CX50, and after taking a look at that model, it made me question, is it worth spending the extra $10,000 to $20,000 on a premium SUV over the mainstream? Yeah, you are right about that, because first off, you've got an inline six with the CX90, and the interior of the CX90 is quite beautiful, especially on the higher trims. Mazda knows how to do a wonderful interior. The technology has been updated. The Q7 is quite old now. It would be nice, yeah.
Speaking of Audi, it's ancient.
To have a redesign.
Yeah.
The MDX has been updated. Acura got rid of the trackpad, and boy, that is a special handling vehicle. Drives more like a larger sedan, quite engaging to drive.
Yeah, so you could also just do sort of an MDX on the not cheap, but cheaper. You could get the Honda Pilot, and you could get the top touring model and with a little more luxury amenities. But not the only issue, the big issue we have with the Mazda is that we are not totally sold on the transmission. When we drove either the hybrid, the plug-in hybrid, or the gas model, we didn't find it was fully baked. We've booked two of them in the new year. In January, we have the gas model and the hybrid to get back. They've told us there's been software updates to the transmission, and we're going to see if the results have changed.
Yeah, we're going to give it another shot. I hope so, because you guys all know that I'm a Mazda fan. And I think what it comes down to with the CX90, it sounds like you know this vehicle. You sat in it. I'm assuming that you test drove it. You have to be okay with that transmission and the lagginess. If you are not, you will notice it right away, and you will say, I'm not a fan of this, and you get into something like an MDX where the transmission is very good.
All well sorted.
Shifts smoothly and quickly. There are people who drive the CX90 and they are not bothered by the transmission at all. And then I have other viewers who will reach out and say, like, what is up with the transmission on the CX90? I think it really comes down to being a personal preference. So out of the three, what would you buy?
I would probably go MDX. I think the MDX is just a really well thought out cabin. A little bit too much of the shiny hard plastic in the center, but you know what? I can live with the fact that, and the other thing, Andrea, it's crap on gas.
Yeah.
Like the 3.5 liter and the 10-speed automatic, it does the job. It does what it says on the box, but it's bad on fuel. So that's
not great.
Yeah, and then the Audi is just very, very old now.
And the CX90 has got the 48-volt mild hybrid system on the inline six, so you're getting better fuel economy, and then you could also go for the plug-in hybrid. But you've got to drive them, and I really believe if you drive them, you will know which one that you like best.
What's the Buick called, the big one? The
Enclave.
The Enclave, the Buick Enclave. Now, that is a premium brand and really nice, like it, beautiful on the inside.
Beautiful.
So check out the Buick.
Awesome reviews. Never missed your videos. Thank you. Planning to buy a new generation Toyota RAV4, is it a good idea to buy the first year of a new launch? And very disappointing with Toyota for not having more interior designs and colors. An update on 2026 RAV4. Keep up the good work. So we know that the RAV4 is going to be a 2026 model, and it's going to arrive sometime next year, probably in the fall, I would assume.
I heard from a little bird that told me that they already have pre-production model at the factory.
I said, "Can we see it?"
And he said yes. And he said no. We said we could see it.
No,
but it's
not
going to
right
be.
now,
But it's all got camouflage all over it. And they're going to start doing the integration of the new model on the line in October.
Yeah.
and we might be able to see it in the spring as a secret. Can't tell anybody about it, but they're going to show it to us.
Yes.
And then that means that in probably November, December, we'll get a chance to drive it. That's when the launch will be of the vehicle.
Yeah.
I would say I would not have a problem buying a first year because it's going to have the 5th generation hybrid system that Toyota is using already in other products like Camry. So it's not like it's a brand new hybrid. It's going to be that generation, I would think, of hybrid, but using an updated RAV4.
Yeah, we already know that powertrain is bulletproof. There's going to be, as far as we understand, a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid, no more gas model. People want the hybrids anyway, and hopefully they can produce more. And more. So there isn't a large wait time to get one.
Okay, so this is all contingent on the new battery factory they're building in the United States. So in order to make, so for the Canadian factory, it's going to be like 400,000 or 500,000 units a year. And then and at other factories, they need to have like where they make the Camry in Kentucky, I think it's Kentucky, that they have to have a lot of batteries. So they're having a U.S. battery factory come online, and that means there's going to be hybrids for everyone.
Which is great. Just great. What do you think of the possible Nissan-Honda merger? Well, they've actually, as of today, they have signed not an agreement, but a letter of intent. And they want Mitsubishi to come on board as well. I actually think that this is going to be a great merger if it happens. It will make Honda, Nissan the 3rd largest in sales. So I think they both do things really well. First off, Honda has a terrific hybrid system. Nissan could totally use that. And then Nissan, Mitsubishi have a terrific plug-in hybrid system, which Honda and Acura would really benefit from.
And Nissan has electrification in Aria, and the Aria has actually turned out to be the most reliable electric vehicle sold in the marketplace. So we were very impressed with the Aria, and it's one we always forget about, but we shouldn't because it's really well done. So that could be a plug and play for Honda. I watched an interview with Carlos Ghosn, the famous Carlos Ghosn, the guy that got smuggled out of Japan in an instrument case. You know that whole story, right?
Crazy story.
So he was doing an interview with, I think it was Bloomberg, something like that. He says it's a merger of desperation. Now, he also has an axe to grind because he used to be the top guy at Nissan, Renault, and Mitsubishi, and now he's living in exile in Lebanon. But he said it's a merger of desperation, and he brought up something that I wasn't aware of. So in Japan, they have this ministry that they actually have industry, and they're pressuring this merger to happen from the government level in Japan to keep these companies together and to keep them strong. So you have a whole lot of politics at play in this as well. But I'm in more agreement with Andrea. You've got hybridization from Toyota, you've got plug-in hybrid from Mitsubishi, and you've got electrification from Nissan. That sounds like a win-win-win.
Killer. I mean, I really hope this merger goes through. I think it'll be great for all companies involved. Nissan Armada, Lincoln Navigator, or GMC Yukon Denali for a large SUV.
Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Yukon Denali. Hands down.
Oh, wow. Oh, did you see that turning radius on that thing? That is huge, and I can turn it on a dime.
And the other thing is, so yes, they've got the EcoBoost 3.5 liter in the Ford. They've got the twin turbo V6 in the Armada. But over at General Motors, they got one little special. They've got 3 engines, 5.3 V8, 6.2, the high performance one. Goes like a bat out of hell, but loves the gasoline. And then they've got the beautiful 3-liter diesel, which is the one that we would get. Love that.
I just like everything about that Yukon Denali. I really enjoy driving it. I like the big presence on the road. People get out of my way. But it's just easy to maneuver. It's a big box on wheels, and it's so easy to parallel park in the city. Huge fan. Hello, love your content, been watching for years. Question regarding VW Premium Audio. We have a 2016 Jetta with the Fender system and thought it was wonderful. We replaced it with a 2021 Jetta with the Beat system, which does not sound very good at all, and it's my biggest dislike about the car. We just got a 2024 GTI with the Harman Kardon system, and we think it sounds great. So much better than the Beats, which it does. My question is based on your comment saying you don't like the Harman Kardon system. We have our GTI, and yes, we don't like it.
Okay, let's just take the Beats out of the equation. If you went Fender, if you got out of your Fender Golf and then got into the GTI, you would go, this Harman Kardon is not very good. But because you had a Beats audio in the middle, that makes the Harman Kardon sound better.
Yeah.
The Beat, okay, why Volkswagen has Fender, Beats, and Harman Kardon, they should just pick one, and it should be Fender, because I think the Fender as a mainline stereo in a mainline car brand is one of the best. The Harman Kardon, to me, it's just got a muddy middle. It's got no definition, no punch. We actually changed the subwoofer in the back. I went and bought on eBay the Fender subwoofer and plugged it into the back. It makes it sound a little bit better, but I'm really disappointed. I totally agree with you. Fender all day.
And the thing,
Beats.
and the thing about Harman Kardon is that I've been in some vehicles that have a Harman Kardon sound system, and it sounds okay, but in this GTI, we're just not fans. And it's the same with Bose. It can also be hit and miss.
This system in this, we have two Cayennes. Both have the Bose upgraded sound system.
Yeah.
The old one sounds way better than this one. I don't get it.
No.
So I'm really disappointed that the Harman Kardon system, if you're happy with it, great, enjoy it. I just find it has no, it's not crisp, it's not sharp, and that's what Fender was so good at. It was a really nice, crisp, clean sounding stereo. So there you go.
And I think you make a good point in saying that you've gone from Fender to Beats, so you notice a massive difference. And then you've gone from Beats, which is terrible, to Harman Kardon. So it feels like it's a little bit better.
It's an upgrade.
But I agree with Zach too. If you love it, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
Here's how you get around it with the stereo. You don't listen to music. You listen to talk radio. And if you listen to talk radio, then all the stereo sound
I
good.
listen to music and I just try to.
Andrea has the same 10 songs.
It.
Andrea has the same 10 songs on shuffle. I get in the car and I'm like, oh God, skip, skip, skip. And then they just repeat the same 10 songs.
I like our the MX-5. I think the stereo in that sounds pretty good.
Because it's got it's got the headrest speakers.
Really good, really good. Well, we just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve today. We hope that you have a wonderful Christmas morning, and make sure that you watch for our top 10
tomorrow
vehicles of the year. We've got a number one pick, the Motor Mouth
car
pick.
of the year.
Yeah.
Can't say what it is. If you're watching this on Christmas Eve, that video comes out Christmas morning. So open the presents, have your
coffee,
your coffee
breakfast,
and your champagne and orange juice.
Yeah.
And then settle in for the top 10 of the year. And so there you go. And happy Hanukkah as well. Hanukkah starts on Christmas Day as well.
Yeah.
Not Christmas Day. Hanukkah starts on the same day as Christmas. But there you go.
And we're hosting all through the holiday season, so I better get cracking on the cooking.
So just imagine post-dinner and then too much wine and Zach asleep on the sofa. Just think about that.
Yes. You'll be chilling.
No, I'll be asleep. And Andrew will go to bed.
I love this time of the year. You know, it's just so festive and all the lights and getting together with family and friends, and we're home and we're with our boys, and it's just, I don't know, I'm just such a huge fan of it.
I love it.
It sure comes quickly though, doesn't it?
It sure does,
What
Andrea.
happened to 2024?
All right, we're all done. We could just keep rambling on here. So watch the top 10 on Christmas Day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Ho, ho, ho.
See you.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
See you.
Happy holidays. Peace out.
Rum and eggnog.
Ooh, we have to get some rum and eggnog.